Hi, I'm Dave. This is Jay, the Dave and Jay Show. Today, Jay, we're going to be talking about something we have addressed a little bit before about American big money influence in the regulatory process in Canada, some big money in the States trying to stop pipelines. I'm going to tell you today, I think it's going much deeper than that, and another example of that here, and it's very disturbing. Yeah,
it's outrageous, actually, and I would add that it's more than just fighting against pipelines and our ability to get our #1 product to market. But they're actually trying to shut down the oil sands, one of the biggest resources this country and the world has when it comes to oil.
We've heard about the convoys going around Alberta, some of the big oil field trucking guys getting their big rigs lined up and going through some towns in Alberta to highlight the fact that the federal government is ignoring the problems in Alberta. And then we're going to take this convoy to Ottawa.
That's where.
I mean, that takes a huge amount of organization, a lot of money to make it happen. Canadaaction was one of the groups behind it. The big trucker convoy has now been canceled. It's been canceled for a couple of reasons. One, these yellow vest guys were going to have a parallel convoy, Jay, at the same time. That couldn't work.
Well, not only couldn't work, but I would add and pose the question, these yellow vest protesters, do you think they've been helpful or harmful to the cause of people like Cody Battershill, who has been putting an immense amount of his personal effort and time into trying to educate Canadians from coast to coast about the importance of the oil and gas industry?
Well, I think, in fact, this his convoy, the Canadaaction, and others who were organizing the convoy, have been hijacked. They've been sabotaged by some of the yellow vest people, I think, Jay.
Yeah,
I think the organizers of the convoy would tell you exactly that. I mean, I'm told, in fact, that some of the members of the organizing committee for the trucker convoy were themselves threatened, Jay.
Oh my God.
Threatened by anonymous Facebook accounts. And they were so threatened, they felt they couldn't proceed with the convoy. For their own personal safety and the safety of the people participating, they canceled the convoy. And who was doing that? Well, the organizers are pretty suspicious of where the money came from and where the animosity came from.
And who has a vested interest in trying to stop this type of thing, in trying to keep our oil industry and our oil product landlocked? Who has a vested interest in that?
Of course, it's the United States. It's some of the big foundations in the U.S. They profit from getting our oil for $10. And then, of course, as we've said in other shows, some of the U.S. Oil companies sell the oil back to us at $50.
To Eastern Canada.
And so the organizers are pretty certain that these American interests were again influencing this attack on the organizers of the convoy. Again, interfering in Canadian affairs, Jay, to the point where these people were concerned about their own personal safety. That is just, that cannot be allowed to stand.
And it's interesting that the threats and the attacks via social media came against that particular convoy that was the most reputable, that was the most responsible. Because Cody, of course, is trying to send us a positive message that we should all get behind having a great positive influence when it comes to our oil and gas industry.
He's been nonpartisan.
Whereas some of the yellow vest guys, some of them, not all, but some of them have kind of been way over the line, making threats of their own. Well, they're going to proceed, but the ones that we actually want to represent our industry have had to cancel.
And you're right about that. Some of the yellow vest people, again, anonymously on Facebook, threatening the life of the Prime Minister, assassinating the Prime Minister. That is ridiculous.
That's completely unacceptable.
I don't care if you agree with his politics or not. That is not the way to conduct any kind of democracy. And so the yellow vest guys, as you say, will have that reputation as they roll into Ottawa, totally discrediting any kind of legitimate argument about energy policy in this country. And
leaving themselves open by the mainstream to attacks from the mainstream media as just a bunch of Western redneck nut bars,
bunch of wackos
rolling across the country and they're
making threats against everybody. You're right. And that's not what it is.
And the positive message that Cody and others have been trying to communicate will be lost.
And I think, you know, those guys, the organizers of the legitimate convoy, were worried some of those yellow vest guys had infiltrated their group, infiltrated the actual convoy to cause problems, to discredit the industry yet again. It's awful. I'm hoping, and I think I'm optimistic that the people organizing the legitimate rallies will have more they would tell you that there's only two provinces, Jay, now, BC and Quebec,
that are holding out.
Really holding out against any kind of pipeline development. So I think they're going to take a long view. I hope they do. They want to do it peacefully, but they're looking longer term. And well, we have a big election coming up in Alberta and a big one coming up in Canada, in Ottawa, in October. So those will be pivotal elections for this country. Thanks, everybody, for staying with us. Thanks for participating in our program. If you want to help us out, please subscribe down below and join us again next time. Thanks a lot.